Good morning. Hello to all you two-leggeds and four-leggeds. And there could be some three-leggeds if we include canes, or my neighbor had a three-legged dog for a little while. It's good to see us all together to come and celebrate the great mystery and all that is about it, the welcome of life to each of us, our relationship to each of this. This might need to go down just a little bit. Could you take the volume down just a teensy? How's that sound? Folk can hear now? Or is that too low? Is that good? All right. Wonderful to see you all. Wonderful to relate to all. Wonderful to be together. Let's sing hymn number 346 in the gray hymnal, and rise as you are able in body and our spirit. And four-leggeds are welcome to sing as well if they do. Please rise as you are able. Come sing a song with me.
Say the next two lines of that hymn, you've been coming to church for a long time. For those of you with whom I'm not acquainted, my name is Dottie Pitt, and I'm a member of the worship committee and your worship assistant this morning. In the spirit of the GA lesson I learned a few weeks ago in this very church, I am an active gray-haired mother, grandmother, and widow. I am a singer, a nature appreciator, and I'm wearing the colors of fall. If you are having trouble hearing, please raise your hand. Is the sound okay this morning? Everybody on Zoom okay? Good. We are glad that you've chosen to be here with us this morning, no matter your journey. Whether you're here in person, virtually, we welcome you with your heritage and whomever you love. And whatever your pet, present or at home, real or imagined, you are welcomed here. Your presence, two-legged and four-footed, enriches worship for everyone. The sanctuary is made holy by your presence. If you are joining us for the first time, a special welcome. You will find information about First Parish in your pew, and I want to bring your attention to the laminated cards in the pew that have the words to what we are going to do and say this morning, sing and say. Please take a moment to read the announcements in your order of worship, but there are two special ones that are in the order of worship, but that I want to call your attention to. There is a special free musical event taking place in 2 weeks on October 26th. That's a Saturday. Milton Community Concerts is celebrating its 10th anniversary. Yay, Tim. This will be a musical marathon fundraiser. It will begin with mini concerts from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, including guest artists such as David Wan, tenor, and jazz accordionist Corey Pesatoro. You may remember Corey. He and his friend, what was her name? Beth, sang here and performed here maybe the first year or the second year of community concerts, and I actually hired him to do some work for my chorale, which was really great. It was a nice combination of joining together of two musical hearts. After dinner at 5 will be a concert called Showstoppers, featuring many performers from the last 9 years of Milton Community Concerts. So please, bring your musical spirit and have a musical marathon day. It's going to be fun. And there's another thing. Did you know that this is the spooky season? You guys over there, do you know it's spooky? So the membership committee wants you to come and have a low-key seasonal good time on Friday, October 25th. So you can get warmed up for the music on this 26th. Bring your sleeping bag. You could sleep over. And there'll be pizza, salad, drinks, and treats, plus spooky music and crafts. Costumes are encouraged, but not required. Now let's take a moment to greet each other. Looks like we've got a good crowd here this morning, so greet each other in a COVID-safe manner. And for those of you on Zoom, please turn on your video and go to gallery view so you can say hello to others who are Zooming in.
Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Tucker.
Good morning, Pat.
Hello, Pat. Hello, Hal. How you doing?
Great, thanks.
How was the AT luncheon? How was your AT luncheon yesterday?
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
It was very fun. We had, I don't know, there were 11 or 12 of us.
Oh, great.
And
Great.
thank goodness it was.
Sorry to miss it.
Oh, no. You had
What's
family
that?
celebration. You had family celebrations.
We did.
And
That's
it was
right.
a gorgeous day. So,
Yeah, it was beautiful. The wedding, we had the wedding, and then we had a brunch the next morning, and then we had something in the afternoon. It's still going on. We have guests for the rest of the weekend too from out of the country. So it's a long wedding.
whether it was the Italian side or the Irish side, you guys know how to party.
Yes. The Italian side, we eat the whole time. I know that much, so.
What's wrong with that? At any rate. All right. Well, I guess we should rejoin. We'll check
I
you
know
later.
it. All right.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Working on hearing? Yeah. How's that going? Good? Okay.
As we enter into worship, please take a moment to make sure your cell phones are silenced. And each Sunday we light the chalice as a reminder of our shared humanity. I'd like to invite Katie Vay up to light the chalice. Like our pets, our chalice provides a corner of warmth and awareness where we, the members of the First Parish faith community, can find comfort and support and connection to something greater than ourselves. Thanks, Katie. Now let's join in saying the call to worship. That's the first entry on your pew card. Come, let us gather together. We gather to celebrate the sacred within and among us. We come to seek spiritual growth and understanding. We strive to practice acceptance, forgiveness, and love. Together, we work to build a world with justice and compassion. Come, let us gather together.
So this morning, we're going to bless the animals. So what does blessing mean? Blessing is an affirmation, a kind of approval, a yes toward someone or something. It's a little bit more than just that, though. It's not just saying yes to each other. It's a hope that the goodness that you see inside helps you thrive, helps you live well, helps you feel supported. Does anybody remember this? Anybody a Trekkie here? Yes, what was that? What does that mean? Do you remember? Live long and prosper, right? Live long and prosper. A what? Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, Vulcan, right. It's a blessing, live long and prosper, right? A blessing is about encouraging a sense of love and light in your life, something that you're born with, something that you know exists because you were born with it. And poet John O'Donohue, who is very famous for writing about blessings, he even wrote a whole book of blessings, he offers this lovely phrase in a piece that's called Blessing. It's called Benacht, which is blessing. He wrote it for his mother, and this is the very end, which says, "And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life." So when we bless someone, we're hoping that whatever good feeling we see and we affirm in each other stays with us so that it helps us come into harmony with our lives. So a blessing is also a gesture to protect or heal or strengthen. Okay, another TV or movie reference. How many here have seen E.T., the movie E.T.? Well, you know, in the very end, when E.T. is standing there ready to go in the spaceship, he pulls out his finger, and the little light goes boom, and he goes to the forehead of his friend and says, "I'll be right here." Do you remember that? "I'll be right here." That's a blessing. I will be with you. I will care about you for the rest of your life. And I thought, well, maybe I should do one more movie reference that's because I'm aging myself in these movie references. Encanto. How many of you have seen Encanto, that wonderful movie about Mexico? Now, Encanto is a whole story about how we each have blessings within us, and if it comes to life, we help balance the world. We help the world come to its full health. So you carry the blessing of who you are with you. And that blessing is the knowledge of wholeness. It's the ability to contribute to harmony, kindness, compassion, wholeness in our lives. So I wanted to share one more popular wisdom tale that many of you probably know. There was a monastery that had fallen on hard times. The abbot, who's the leader, and only 4 monks were left caring for this vast, beautiful property, all of whom were over 70. So clearly this faith community was going to disappear soon, maybe 10 or 20 years, because there would be no one left to carry the blessing of its faith community. Now, deep in the woods surrounding the monastery was a little hut that the local rabbi would sometimes use to go into a silent retreat or go into a retreat for himself. And one day the abbot went to visit the rabbi when he was there to tell him of his sadness that the monastery was falling on hard times, and he was very worried that it would eventually disappear, that no one would come. And the rabbi welcomed the abbey and said, "I know how it is." He agreed. "The spirit has gone out of people. Almost no one comes to the synagogue anymore." So the old rabbi and the old abbot sat and wept together and talked about deep things and deep hopes. Now the time came when the abbot had to leave, and they embraced. And he says, "It's been wonderful being with you," said the abbot, "but I've failed in my purpose for coming. Have you any advice that might save the monastery?" "No, I'm sorry," the rabbi said. "I've no advice to give. The only thing I can tell you is that the Messiah is one of you." So the Messiah is one who has the wisdom of health and wholeness and peace and can bring harmony to the world. And he said, the Messiah is among you, is one of you. Well, when the other monks heard the rabbi's words, they wondered who this might be. The Messiah is one of us here in this monastery? And they each thought of each colleague, and they remembered a trait that helps and heals, and they wondered, I wonder if it's him or him. And then each thought, of course he didn't mean me, but wait a minute, what if he did mean me? Could I be the one who can bless this monastery, who can bring hope and health to this monastery? So as they kept thinking these things, the old monks began to treat each other with extraordinary respect, just in case one of them was the Messiah, and they started treating themselves with extraordinary respect, just in case they were the Messiah. And as they were doing this, as they were treating themselves, there was an air of welcome and there was an air of hope. And because the forest in which the monastery was situated was beautiful, people would occasionally come and they'd picnic and they'd go on the old paths. And they started to sense this aura of extraordinary respect that surrounded the 5 old monks. They could feel its blessing. So they began to come more frequently because it felt good. And they started to bring their friends. And then they brought their friends, and there was this wonderful feeling in the forest around the monastery. And a couple people came up, a couple men came up, because at that time it was men that were monks, and said, young men would say, could I join the order? And sooner or later, there was a vibrant, thriving place because of the rabbi's blessing. The Messiah is one of you. So think about something in you that knows how to honor nature and its creatures. Just let yourself think about that as we listen to music.
Then the firmament shook, and there was produced a paper bag. And the cat went forth into the bag and saying that it was good. She fell asleep,
I forgot to do the moment of silence and stillness. Thank you for jumping up and doing music right away, Tim. So let's just spend 1 minute or so in stillness and let yourself keep thinking about what blessing do you have, or what knowledge of harmony do you have within you. And we're going to follow what people do in spirit play, which is when I do the chime, you put up your hands until you can't hear the sound anymore. And you bring it down. Okay, ready? And then we'll stay in stillness. It's a rude way to wake up there. That was a fun stillness with the panting of a dog. I loved that. So tomorrow is Indigenous Peoples Day. Indigenous Peoples Day is a holiday in this country that celebrates and honors Indigenous peoples, Native American folks, and we learn about their histories and their cultures. And you probably see in your order of worship, we have a land acknowledgement that acknowledges who dwelt on this land before it was Milton, before it was even Massachusetts. And in fact, the Massachusetts people used to be on this land, and the Neponset tribe dwelled here. And we like to acknowledge that the land was taken care of and life was taken care of by people before us, instead of just thinking, this is our land and we own it. None of that. It's like there are many peoples and many beings that stay on this lovely earth. So one important belief in most Native American traditions is that of animal wisdom. Animals bless us with their medicine, called animal medicine. Jamie Sams, a member of the Wolf Clan Teaching Lodge and author of several spirituality books, shares the Native American concept of medicine. She writes, "Medicine is anything that improves one's connection to the greater mystery and to all life. It's the constant living of life in a way that brings healing to the earth and all creatures." So medicine is a feeling or a knowledge or a wisdom that heals and teaches how to live in harmony with nature. And there is so much animal wisdom that each creature has a bit of that wisdom to help us figure out how to be in harmony with life. And she calls it a great gift from the four-leggeds, the creepy crawlers, the finned ones, and the winged ones. Ted Andrews, also author and mystic of shamanic practices, wrote this in his book. It is important to try and understand nature's language, his book called Animal Wise, to relate to nature in a new way. The key to that new relationship is found in the animal realm. Throughout the ages, native cultures have taught that it's true to understand how to be a wise and balanced human being in this life by studying nature, especially animals. So I was thinking as I was walking this morning with my cat Connor, he and I like to take walks in the morning, and I was thinking, one of my most solid relationships, this might be kind of pitiful, but anyway, one of my most solid relationships have been with animals, have been with pets, because there's this intuitive trust that occurs, there's abundant love, there's us being who we are together, there's an appreciation of the relationship, and it's very solid and trustworthy. And that's a blessing that I think animals can give. They just are, and they just see you as just being who you are, rather than all the other stuff that we could do to one another as humans. So we thought maybe you could go around and see how, you have the mic already, or, oh yeah. And I also wanted to ask, this is beautiful, where did this come from? And who is that? Atlas. Thank you, Atlas. Atlas is blessing our table here. Flowers.
He is dearly missed. Who painted it?
Andrea.
Oops, you got to turn it on. Is it on? Is the green light on?
The green light is on.
It is? Okay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Is it good now? Try again.
There we go. Okay, now I don't have to yell. Andrea Tampkin is the artist who painted that portrait, and the photograph that she painted it from is right next to the painting, and I took the photograph. And that's probably the best photo I've ever taken of Atlas. Yes, he used to come every year, so now he can still come.
So, how do animals bless you? How have you ever felt blessed by an animal? You could share a short story or short.
How are we blessed? Yeah. How are we blessed by animals?
Yeah, how have you been blessed by an animal or animals?
Just the eye contact that I have with my cat, makes me feel loved, and she really cares. Like, a lot of cats just don't bother to have eye contact. But where she sleeps, she's kind of hiding, and I go over the chair, and her eyes just pop up, and she's like, you're wonderful. And and I say, you're wonderful. So that, I feel like, is a blessing.
I grew up with a lot of animals, and I never wanted any as an adult, just because it was a little bit like living in a zoo. And then in college, I became allergic to cats and dogs. And so I used that as my excuse with the kids, that we couldn't have them because I had allergies. I know there's my... And then when my daughter was about 13, she was diagnosed with a whole bunch of things, and I stopped at Angel on the way home, and I said, pick out 2 kittens. Now she's moved out, and I've got these 2 cats. And then when the younger daughter got her driver's license, I'm self-employed, and I was the cart driver, and I panicked, and I got an empty nest panic puppy. because I needed something to make me get out of bed, and I was pretty sure a puppy was going to do that. So now I have a dog and 2 cats and only adult children. And but then I got my empty nest panic puppy just before COVID hit. And then everyone came home. And I don't think the kids would have come out of their bedrooms if we didn't have this adorable little puppy. So she saved all of us.
Bridget, thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else have an animal story? Here, Carl.
Thinking of the kind of wider wildlife type critters, and I was in my backyard, and we all hear the hoot owls and the coyotes, and it does make you realize, and a blessing in the sense that it makes you realize that they remind you of the wider natural world too. And they're out there, and they don't really care that you're there. They're just going about their business. So it's a sense of the wider natural world.
When I was living alone,
A little bit closer, Deb.
in between husbands, I began to breed dogs, and so I had this deal with the owners that if they ever went away, I would take care of their dogs. So when I met Richard, I had 4 dogs and 4 cats, and he wasn't scared away.
Anyone else? Up.
I have a story similar to the cat adoption. When I was 17 and my sister was 23, our mom passed away, and we didn't have a father, so it was just me and her boyfriend lived with us. And we got these 2 little kittens that were litter mates, and they were so cute, and they helped us feel better. And when me and my sister moved away from each other, I ended up keeping the cats. And one we put down about 3 years ago at the age of 16. And the other one was holding on. I called her my little old lady cat. She was 19 years old. She was suffering from kidney failure. We have her paw print. And I kept debating. I told people, like, oh, they gave her about 6 months to live 2 or 3 years ago. And I kept on saying, like, should I put her down? Is it time? Will she let me know it's time? Like, she doesn't do much, but she's still eating. And debating for like 2 years. And then finally, I guess she gave me the gift of not having to decide anymore, and she unfortunately crossed the Rainbow Bridge while we were on vacation, so I didn't really get to say a proper goodbye. But when you have a 19-year-old cat, any day might be goodbye. But yeah, she was so, like, in her later years, she would hide a lot, but she would still sometimes come out and just, like, sit on my chest and purr, and yeah, she was lovely.
I have a spider who has kind of become a pet in my kitchen window. She's on the other side of the screen, so I'm letting her be. And I like to think about how patient she is. And, she's got a good view, and I just watch her, and she's kind of just hanging out there. And so spiders could be pets, too.
Oh, definitely. So animals do bless us, and we've heard a little bit from Atlas and also of the cat. I don't know a cat's name again that died. Zelda. So animals bless us even after they've died, the memory of them, the relationship with them, the understanding, as Carl was saying, that they're a part of the great connection of world and nature. So let's just for a minute lift up our love and our thanks for those animals that are no longer with us. Either they died or we had to give them away for some reason. And to lift up their name, if you would like to, in honor and celebration and love of animals who have been with you. May the spirit of their medicine live on. Amen. So let's sing together hymn number 1021 in the teal hymnal, Lean on Me. Let's join our hearts in the spirit of prayer. Holy One of all being, known in many ways, given many names, help us remember to extend our love to all creatures. Help us remember their welcome into this world and our connections to them. Help us find our way in communities that heal and give wholeness and hope for a life of harmony. We have some local prayers from Dottie. For my friend Judy, whose husband died peacefully on Friday. Let us lift up love for Judy, that she has strength and knows she is held. Also, Dottie prays for the family of her high school friend Laura, who recently succumbed to liver cancer. May all who mourn Laura feel held. And Liz O'Rourke, thank you, Atlas, for all your years of unconditional love and devotion. You carried the weight of the world for me. Also for Juno, don't be afraid. And for all the prayers lifted up but unspoken, may we surround them in love. Amen.
And I'd like to invite Katie Vey back again to introduce this Sunday's Share the Plate. She will be speaking on behalf of the Prison Book Program, which is a very meaningful thing for her, I know.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nice to see you all. For those who don't know me, I'm Katie Vey, and I've been a member of First Parish since 2019. I've been involved with the Prison Book Program since 2015. I've spoken about them here in the past, but here's a little overview of the organization. The Prison Book Program in Quincy was founded over 50 years ago. They exist for one purpose: to send books to people in prison in facilities across the United States. But what they really offer is the support and encouragement of a community of people outside the prison walls. The way the program works, people in prison write letters with their book requests. We fulfill their requests using our supply of donated books. Books get donated by publishers, organizations, and individuals in the community. First Parish has generously supported the Prison Book Program with funds and books in past years. This year, we will be hosting a book drive that starts next week on the 19th, and we're sharing the plate this week. People receive a set of books that match their interest, and they get to keep the books once they receive them. Often the recipients will donate books to the prison library after they're done reading, so we know that every book that gets sent in is read and shared by many. Dictionaries are a very popular request, along with language learning, hobbies, business, and trade skills, because a lot of people don't have access to the internet, so books are a good source of information. People also ask for all kinds of fiction and every topic you can imagine. Some of my favorites are the more unusual ones like goat farming and dog training and other animal-related ones. For the book drive, we ask that people read the donation guidelines to make sure that the book will be accepted by the Prison Book Program. I started volunteering because I love books, but I stayed because I love the stories of the people we serve. There's something unique about the connection you feel when you hold someone's letter in your hand. I have so many stories that I carry in my heart. I will share a couple of quotes that reflect the depths of the connection that people form with our program. Richard shared, "Thank you for the undeserved kindness you all have demonstrated to me over the years. You have helped me to see and know the good in the world and the good in myself, to understand that there is good inside of me and that I have value. I am not worthless." Kyle shared, "It means a great deal to receive something like this from a complete stranger. Your books came along as a validation of my worth as a human being." Another person shared, "We are a population that's often written off, treated as if our last chapter has been written, and there's nothing more for others to read. That is far from reality, as you know. The meaningful gifts of books empower and encourage us to write the next chapter of our life story. It has been such a privilege to serve people in prison, to share dignity, compassion, and unconditional love, to provide a source of light in the darkness. At the Prison Book Program, we believe that everyone is worthy of kindness. As someone shared, it is not just about sending books to someone. You are sending a message that we matter in this world." So please share the plate and give as generously as you can. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Today's offering will go towards the Prison Book Program. Please support Katie's meaningful work as we realize our shared humanity with all. To give, please follow the instructions printed in your pew or shown on the Zoom screen. For those in the meeting house, you also may deposit cash or a check into the collection plates at either door when you leave the meeting house. If you are proud of this church, become its advocate. If you care about its future, share its message. We welcome all to build a just and healthy world with faith, love, and compassion. Please support the Prison Book Program by giving as generously as you can. That was beautiful, thank you. Please join me in saying the unison dedication, number 4 on your pew card. May these gifts be transformed into strength for this faith community, into comfort, food, and shelter for those in need, and may we be transformed by generosity. Now please rise as you are willing and able for the doxology, number 3 on your pew card.
we will bless our animals. But first, I wanted to ask, I know for a while, I don't see Tracy there anymore. She was there with Scout, her dog. I don't know if anybody on Zoom has an animal that they want to lift up. If you want to open the camera and let us know if there's anyone there. Okay. All right, I just didn't want to leave you out. What we will do is, if you would be so kind as to line up along here, and of course leave enough room for, the beings to be able to stay there. And then one at a time you'll come up and bless. And please do let me know the name again. I know some names, I'm not always great at remembering names. Actually, I'm gonna I believe this is Jolie, right? Jolie. May the love of your caretakers surround you. May you know health, well-being, and joy. Blessings be upon you.
Heard some corny birds who tried to sing, but still a cat's the only cat who knows how to sing. A purr between two furry friends may be all that, but everybody wants to be a cat.
as I extinguish the chalice that is a signal of our faith, may our faith burn deep and wide within us. May it be extended to the love of all creatures, and may we know that joy ever abounds in our animal friends. Have a good week. Amen.